All right. Welcome, guys, to Real Crusades History. This is the live stream behind the scenes for the upcoming Crusades TV show, Knights of the Cross, for ChristianChannel.com. So let me say welcome to some of our regulars here. This is the stunt team for Knights of the Cross, a group of guys I was very fortunate to work with on our trailer and will be working with when we start filming the show. So, welcome, guys.
Thanks for having us, Joe.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, buddy.
So we're minus a couple of people today. Spencer couldn't make it. Norman couldn't make it, but we still have a good group with us. So let's go around and introduce everybody. First of all, let's start with Kyle, who is kind of the guy who got me hooked up with this whole stunt crew. So Kyle Potts, how's it going, man?
Good. It's going good.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, sort of your preferred armor and style, and
man,
how you got into all this.
Yeah, so I've done martial arts for my whole life, and I got into armored combat through the SCA when I was 18. And I've done that. I've done HEMA. I've done a whole bunch of other sword sports, other martial arts at the same time, Muay Thai. Yeah, I like martial arts. I like swords. And as for like my favorite armor type, that's a tough question because it's all contextual. Like, am I going to be riding a horse? Am I going to be on foot? You know what? Generally speaking, I love the look and sleekness of 14th century armor in like the Black Prince era, the 1350 armor, revolution, because it was a technological revolution in the gear at that point. I just love the sleek look of it, and still has the practicality. Even the king armor at that time is still something you could look at and go, oh, someone's going to fight in that gear right there. So it's just this neat period of armor that I dig.
All right, awesome. And we've got Mike with us also. So, Mike, you were not only Richard the Lionheart's stunt double for the trailer, you also did work as one of the escorts for the Countess. So you had multiple roles in there. So, yeah, same questions for you, Mike. What got you into all this, and what's some of your favorite armor, some of your favorite fighting styles?
You're going to find my story is very similar to Kyle's. I have been in martial arts or combat sports since forever. And then I found the armored combat sport through the SCA, and it was just incredible. Being able to put on the armor, the real stuff, and go at full speed, full contact. There's just nothing else on this planet like it. Favorite armor style for me is the, I want to say probably late 12th, early 13th century, like Crusader type era. I really dig the aesthetics of the longer tunics, the chain hauberk that hangs down to your knees, and that's what drew it to me at first. Was it looked cool, and the helmets are freaking awesome, which reminds me of a bone to pick with you guys about that last one that I wasn't in.
So what's
those
that
face helmets for the win?
What's that helmet you've got back there, Mike?
This is my helmet. This is what I've been fighting in for probably 10 years now. And it's, they call it like a sugarloaf type helmet. But yeah. I did the blackening and I put the little silver cross on there. It needs cleaned up and re-blackened.
Hold that up one more time, Mike. I was just getting a text from our producer, actually, Austin Kelly. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's awesome. I like that. So would that be kind of like what period specifically do you think that would have showed up?
Kyle's a better historian than I am. What do you think, buddy?
I think that kind of helmet
Crusader era-ish.
So the flat top that we use for Richard in the show, Mike's helmet here is kind of like the next evolution of that. So as those flat tops faded out, these ones faded in.
Yeah,
so
it's
you'd probably see these in the late 1200s. They would be super cutting tech, more common in the early 1300s, and then kind of phased into bassinets by 1350s, I would guess.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, of course, sometimes you have grandpa's armor still in existence, and then sometimes you have a guy that would make something really cool, and we only see a drawing of it. So these are all ballparks.
Yeah. But better glancing surface on the dome here than that flat top.
Yeah. For any kind of fighting sport, it works great.
Yeah, it really does. It really does. Being able to duck and slip while fighting. But yeah, it's great. I love it. I actually feel naked and vulnerable wearing an open face helmet. I don't know how you guys do it. Just a bar drill.
Let's get back into the helmet thing today. I think that'd be kind of a cool thing to explore, especially since you weren't there with us last time, Mike. Let's go ahead and jump to Adam now. So Adam was also a part of the stunt crew for the trailer, did a great job, played one of the Saracens, and some other stuff too, I believe. I think you did some Crusader stuff out in the dunes. So yeah, Adam was a huge asset. I was really impressed with your knowledge, Adam, and your ability to kind of like help coordinate some of the stuff ahead of time and help coaching, like our actor Bug Hall and some different members of the team. That was really helpful, and that was just really cool to watch that kind of process take place. So yeah, same questions for you, Adam. What got you into this stuff? What's some of your favorite fighting styles, armor, all that good stuff?
Right on. Well, what got me into it was actually Kyle blew me up on the to get involved with this project. A couple of me, it was like, hey, let's do it. And I happen to be pretty close regionally with him right now, so it was pretty cool. I've been a martial artist since I was about 6 years old, and I got involved with. I don't not like fighting, which is almost an understatement, really. The joy that I get from being able to put gear on and get down with my friends is pretty awesome. But I did a combination of things from a whole bunch of different martial arts, and I started doing full contact foam, honestly, which is a blast, and it's not particularly historically accurate, but it does have a lot of like Tolkien references and stuff like that to it, which is fun. I did that for a long time. I got involved in the SBA about 8 years ago now, and it's an absolute blast. That's when I started meeting these guys and never looked back. Too much fun. As far as armor for myself, I don't really fight in much.
No, you don't.
We have a field legal minimum that you have to wear to fight, which is what I wear. So if there's a type of armor that is closest to the way I like to fight, I would say more gladiatorial than anything. And that is the headspace I like to throw myself when I'm fighting anyway. It's a one and done, and it's all or nothing. So, but I love it. So
nice. All right. Thanks for the intro, guys. Before we get into some of our topics today, let's go ahead and introduce the topic at hand, I guess, which is Knights of the Cross and what that is. I'm going to go ahead and share our page about the project. So Knights of the Cross is a historical drama TV series about the Crusades. And this is a project that we are working on for ChristianChannel.com. ChristianChannel.com is a new up-and-coming streaming service. This is their second crowdfunding project. They do all kinds of streaming various content on the platform, and Knights of the Cross is going to be like an original series created for the platform, produced by the owner of the platform, Austin Kelly. Austin approached me about creating this TV show a while back. It seemed like a good fit, as I am the guy behind Real Crusades History, a YouTube channel about medieval history, about the Crusades. And we've been working on it ever since. We recently filmed our trailer with these guys and a really awesome crew of a really awesome camera crew and stunt crew. And if you go to ChristianChannel.com/Knights of the Cross, you learn all about the project. This is where you can find out about the crowdfunding, structure we have in place, which it's kind of modeled off of another very successful crowdfunded show called The Chosen. So you can see the various tiers where you can donate. All of these come with cool rewards, everything from owning a digital copy of the season all the way up to being in the show yourself. So there's a lot of options there. A lot of good stuff on here. So yeah, I would just encourage everybody to please check out our page. And so that's our plug for that. It's linked down below in the description as well. So having said that, I would say this would be a good time to get into some questions, get into some topics. And I'm over on the second channel today just to kind of work on fleshing it out. This is the Real Crusades History live stream channel. My goal is eventually to make this kind of like the dedicated channel for streaming, just because I like the idea of having a streaming channel versus a video channel. That's actually, I guess that's answering Resident Carolean's question here. But hey, we still got a lot of the regulars over here. So that's good. So thanks for that question, Resident Carolean. Anything else you guys want to bring up today? This is a good time. This group of guys here know a lot about not only the historical aspect of medieval martial arts, but also the physical reality of doing it. I mean, that's one thing I find fascinating talking to you guys, is the fact that you have this insight into how this stuff works in real life. I mean, that's kind of an intriguing thing to me. I mean, the reality is that the medieval world was very much a very physical, very hands-on type of world, unlike our more digital world today. Medieval combat was a very visceral thing, and I do think that in the process of learning about medieval combat, the idea of getting people in the actual gear of the time, which is something we did for the trailer. It was an incredible experience to watch.
It was a blast.
Yeah. And that's something I would like to kind of talk to you guys some more about today, is just how, that process of taking on the equipment and getting into these roles actually helps us understand the period. And I noticed when you guys were out doing your promotional thing, where you, for Wandering Sword Project, where you had the prom girls.
They found us.
Yeah, they found you guys. Yeah, you didn't even have to hire models. The models find you. But it's cool that you guys were representing a whole variety of periods and cultures. You had 16th century Japan. You had 14th century medieval Europe. You had Viking style stuff. That was your thing, Adam. So really just some cool varieties of stuff there. So I don't know. Why don't we jump into the whole helmet thing? We kind of.
You got yours on hand, Kyle?
I think I've got it in the other room, so I can go.
I
grab
can run
it.
and get mine too if we.
All right.
Yeah.
1 second.
All right.
Yeah. Why don't you
start with Mike?
Yeah, I was gonna say let's start with Mike, and Mike, you can kind of talk about because this is something we touched on last time that you weren't able to.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So people always ask about breathing and vision inside one of these things, and most people who are used to wearing open face helmets, I have found, seem to think that it's hard. It's really hard to breathe, and it's really hard to breathe. But in
ready.
general, you're always going to have breathing holes in the face there. And the eye slots, I don't know how well I can really illustrate this without putting it on, but the eye slots go back far enough generally that I can't see there anyway. My vision in this helmet, I lose a little bit of it from here down. It's hard to look down and see things underneath me, but really it's not bad. And once you start fighting in one of these and start getting a feel for it, I can tell when somebody's going to throw a sword shot at my leg, and I know where it's going. You just learn to
that's
different kind
that's
of
a big
focus.
part of it, what Mike's saying, that there's parts you can't see. You learn how to tilt your head just a little bit as you move to be able to pick up different spots or to see in different ways that you only get from fighting. Like I only learned that from getting hit and then be like, ow, why didn't I see that? Oh, if I turn a little bit or if I angle off my shield, I can see, through the breath hole or through the change in elevation of my helmet. So it's part of the learning the armor is learning how to see through your helmet.
Mm. But I don't think it's as bad as a lot of people think it is. If it was, I wouldn't.
I mean, now. I don't know about that. I would say it's as bad as people think it is. It's just a skill of becoming a knight.
Okay.
Well, it's exactly as bad as people say. You just have to learn how to do it.
Do you guys think that the closed helmet, because that's one thing we were kind of talking about last time, is the closed versus the open helmet. Would the closed helmet have made a lot more sense for cavalry as opposed to being in an infantry situation? I mean, what do you guys think about that?
Honestly, like I said, with the only problems I have with vision are when I'm trying to look at something that's underneath me. So that's actually one instance where I feel like perhaps a closed helmet would be a little bit detrimental on the back of a horse because everybody's below you.
So yeah, and the jousting helmet started growing more sloped, which is harder to see out of than like Mike's helmet or here's my helmet that I fight in.
Get a close up on that.
So
this is more
pretty.
So looking at this, Kyle, I mean, we're looking at something that's going to be more of a late medieval style helmet.
Yeah, this is. I mean, so it has a hinged visor that you can open, and if you look at Mike's helmet and compare to mine, his is basically multiple pieces and they're riveted together, which is an earlier style. When you get this, then the helmet starts sloping back even more as the helmet develops. So this is all one piece, which is more like advanced, not like it's better in every way, but like it's an indicative of better tools, better equipment, like better design, better industry. Like you use small pieces of steel when that's all you could do. Mm-hmm. And so when you start using bigger pieces of steel, that's because they're just getting better at using steel by the mid 1300s. And then you get case greaves instead of just front greaves and things like that.
And hot working steel is no joke. It's not something that you can just be like, I think I'll just hit it with a hammer until it does what I want. Nah, to get a shape like he has in his helmet, that takes extreme amounts of effort, a lot of focus, a lot of attention to the smaller detail. So, and you can split a helmet, hot working it. You can just split it and ruin all your work.
If you don't temper it right. Gosh.
Or you guys are talking about the actual kind of metalworking technology changing.
Yeah.
Early Middle Ages, late Middle Ages.
And the people doing it professionally were changing, going from it was a revolution in technology because you have chainmail as the predominant thing, which is a very specific way to produce an armor. And then now you're producing plate steel, shaping it to the body, finding new ways to shape it better and more efficiently. It was their jobs, it was like, whatever your day job is, and you spend 40 hours a week doing that. That's what these guys did just on shaping the steel, just on being able to turn this clumpy rock of carbon and hay and bits of horse poop and turn it into like usable steel, which was a day job.
Hey, blacksmiths were highly sought after and protected because they started. You're right. It was they revolutionized warfare. They were always at the forefront of. It makes sense. One of my favorite stories was about the Norse bladesmiths. They were doing magic science with steel. But they thought it was just magic. So they would oftentimes put the bones of their ancestors into the forge with the steel, thinking that would impart some kind of, magic or power to the blade. But what they were actually doing was adding carbon to the steel.
Yep.
Making it more resilient and more flexible. It's so stuff like that. I love it.
Cool. So, Adam, did you get your helmet?
Yeah, I have mine, and mine is very early. Mine is a very early period helmet. Again, lots of rivets, lots of small parts. I fight with an open face. This is a very this is indicative of a very early Viking period helmet. Some of the brass work is a little outside, but I got lucky on this one. And mine is, again, a lot of small plates, small pieces, all riveted together and combined, just like it was easier to make time in the time period. So yeah.
And one thing with Fox's helmet, it has the bars. That's for modern safety, so that Fox can go back to his job, after Saturday.
With my teeth in my eyes. Yeah.
The historical ones didn't have bars like that.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's the other. It's otherwise done in historical fashion. It's just like, you got to make allowances for us to be humans and go to work every day.
Okay, yeah, I was wondering that. I was thinking, wow, that looks almost like a football helmet. But what you're saying is that is kind of that's an addition to just make it functional for modern day reenactment.
We have rules that we have to maintain as far as the overall size of the weapon, also versus the overall largest space in the grill that we can have. That way your weapon can't hit you in the face. I mean, so that's pretty important.
So once again, it really shows this kind of just looking at the equipment really helps us kind of understand, I think, the historical process of the development of metalwork. I mean, that's an incredible thing. I mean, you're going from this poorer society in the early medieval period, and then in the 13th century, we have this financial revolution in itself. I mean, banking, Europe becomes very, very rich. I mean, that's one of the reasons St. Francis becomes a thing, and the Franciscans. All of a sudden, you have these religious orders that want to be poor because everybody's getting so rich, and so military technology is obviously going to, follow
to keep up.
So cool. All right, so that's a really good introduction. Let's jump over to some of the comments. I saw that we've got some good questions coming in, guys. So let's actually, because we're on the smaller channel, it's easier. They're not coming in as fast. So that's helpful.
Yeah, there's always a bunch you never can get to.
Yeah.
It's funny. Danny Finley here asks about glasses actually in combat.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just don't wear them.
Okay.
The range of fighting is so much smaller than it has to be for modern combat that even archers and even ranged weapons like that, you're aware of their existence, but I mean, if you're going to get hit, you're going to get hit. It's hard to kind of manage some of that, but at 20, 30 feet, everything else is fog of war anyway, and when you get to it, and if you don't, you don't. So I just don't wear them. I know some people fight pretty blind.
Adam, don't you have a reputation as looking mean because you never wear glasses when you fight?
Yeah,
because you're always
because he's always going.
I always look so upset and angry and staring holes in things because I'm just trying to see. When I'm not, I'm in such a good mood when I'm fighting. It's like my happy place. I don't understand.
There's a famous poem from the 13th century. I can't remember which of the troubadours wrote it, but it's basically oh, how much fun war is. You guys know what I'm talking about? It's one of the most famous troubadour poems, just because it's.
No, but I want you to share it with us.
Yeah, I'll see if I can go find it in a second here. But it's like the idea that. On the one hand, we think of, I think that too, and we think about modern day war, it's so much more all encompassing and horrific. Whereas a lot of the military activity in the Middle Ages was more small scale. I mean, there were, big wars like, the Battle of Hastings and stuff, but a lot of times it would be almost more like tournament style things, even if it was a real turf war between a couple of barons or something. And there was a sport aspect to it that comes through, especially in a lot of the troubadour poetry. This is real, this is dangerous, but these are guys who this is kind of their thing. This is the way they kind of settle a dispute, and also kind of the way they just kind of hang out with the boys. I mean, it's an intriguing aspect of medieval warfare that, especially the troubadour poetry, I think, gives us some insight into that. So, okay, let's jump back into more comments here. All right, here's one from ITZ 702. I guess that's a transformer or
Wait, that might be a face. You have to say
droid.
face in the middle there.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, there's
I don't know.
face. So when will the movie be released? Are those who represent for the Muslim side Arabs? Are there Arabic words in the movie? So a lot of cool questions there. The plan is for it to be completed sometime probably in mid 2022. So fundraising is going to happen between now and August. We're actually possibly going to move the fundraising forward a bit because as opposed to August 1st to later in August. I'm going to talk to the producer about that after this, actually. But yeah, fundraising, and then after that, development, which will happen end of the year into the beginning of next year, and then actually filming it will happen sometime early to mid 2022. And yeah, that's the plan. So are those who we would love to have people of Arabic background, or a background that would be consistent with Muslim characters. That would be awesome. In fact, I've actually kind of talked to our producer Austin Kelly about the possibility of casting, picking up some actors who I've spotted who are obviously from either Europe or North Africa or some different places who did some of the Netflix shows, historical Netflix shows. So that we'll see about that. Are there Arabic words in the movie? We're probably not going to have like Arabic language or any other non-English language in the film. I mean, we'll just be doing it in English, but there will be Arabic script. We actually had that in the trailer. We had some Arabic script in our costumes, our wardrobe for our Saracen characters, which that was courtesy, I believe, of your lovely bride. Correct, Adam?
That is correct.
Yeah.
She took a lot of time to make sure that what we had on there was as close as we have access to finding out. And then a lot of that she did by hand. So
yeah,
pretty excited about that.
The arm pieces, it's stitched in Arabic and it looks awesome. Like, she did such a good job.
Really, really good job.
So in fact, yeah, let me see if I can find some pictures of that. And why don't you guys pick out another question you like in the chat while I'm pulling up a share screen here.
To answer the glasses question, I've always used contacts until I got LASIK.
Yeah.
That's
But
it.
as Fox Adam was saying, because I need glasses to see things that are far away. So if I'm in a big melee type situation, I'll wear my contacts. But one-on-one tournament fighting, everything's fine.
So here's one of our Saracen characters. This is Doug as Saracen leader. As you guys can see, there's the Arabic script on his wardrobe there. Very cool.
Yeah, his gambeson. That is so happy with how that turned out. It fit him so well.
Yeah.
Laura was excited.
Let's find some other. This is pretty good. You can kind of see. This is Spencer as one of our Saracens. You can kind of see, and then back here. Is that Zach maybe playing one of the Saracens?
It might be Zach. Oh, is Adam?
Aiden.
Or is that Aiden?
That's Aiden.
It's probably
That's
Aiden.
Aiden. Yeah.
Because
It's hard to tell.
There.
Yeah,
and that's
Zach's
good.
a little bit bigger, I think.
And this is you back
He
here.
works out.
That's you back there, Adam.
Yep, that's me.
Yeah.
And I like the horse wardrobe there. I think that works well.
Yeah.
It's a cool vibe. So okay, let's find. There's a close up of Doug. Let's find some more that kind of show the Saracen costumes. That's a good one of Kyle. Okay, this is
Kyle
this is
getting his
really
brain
good
knocked
right
out.
here. I love this.
I
Richard
do like
versus
that one.
Spencer, and this is a pretty good view.
What a perfect shot.
Yeah.
And that's my hand at the bottom.
Please don't hurt me.
Stop
killing me.
I love these trailer stills. They look really good.
Oh my god.
I'm
That
excited
needs to go
when I
on
see
the
him.
wall. That one right there is a good shot.
That'd be a good poster.
Heck
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So let's jump into some more comments here. Did you guys find any comments you liked in the?
Let's see. Are we gonna have a functional Crusader camp that shows like daily life and such?
I hope so.
Yeah, definitely.
And,
Oh yeah.
yeah, I mean, the tent we used for the one of the tents we used for the trailer is the one that I take on campaign with me, and we're very interested in representing as close to historically accurate period encampment as humanly possible. But I think a lot of that's going to, I mean, we are using, for this trailer, we're using a lot of our own stuff. And funding is going to be a thing.
Yeah. Now, Joe, do we have any pictures of the inside of the Saracen tent?
Yeah, I think so. Let me look. Well, you know what? The only ones we have, I think, are these of Jackie, which don't really show much.
Yeah, this is just the tent pole.
We had somebody was snapping pictures on their phone. I can't remember where that was though.
Let me look around on my hard drive real quick.
Yeah.
While we're doing that, this is a cool picture.
That is a cool picture.
Yeah,
I like that one. This is that's you, Mike. That's you in the mid.
Is that me?
Nope,
or?
that's Bug.
That was Bug.
Okay.
Some of the close-up footage.
Okay.
Yeah. They were doing like some B-roll, super tight shots.
Super close stuff, B-reel stuff. This was fun because there's a lot about this that I got to learn, and a lot of it was that movie magic is magic because you don't understand how it functions until you see it, and then like all the curtains fall down. Everybody understands there's a guy with a pole and like there's a thing on a hook or whatever. But this was cool because we made Bug react to it. First, I threw it right at him a little bit to make him get the natural reaction of like coming across the block and like tucking in. And then I threw it further off to the side, turned into it and got the better block. And I was like, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, and it was funny because Bugs, the first one, he's like, guys, I can't even see it. Like, I don't even see it coming in, because he's not used to the tight helmet. And, we had to slow it down, give him some tells, and we're like, all right, now.
Now. He's like, ooh. But
cool.
It came out looking great.
So I was able to find a photo. I think Spencer sent me this. This is a shot of us setting up the interior of the Saracen tent.
Mm-hmm. In progress.
Yeah, it was not fully set up yet, but this was kind of the vibe we were going for. We wanted to kind of get the idea of carpets, which would have been were a huge thing in medieval Islam. Mm-hmm. We also had, just some weapons, and I think it was a fair representation of what a small detachment kind of moving around quickly might have had with them. I think the tent itself, probably they would have even packed lighter than that, but this was a good looking tent, I think, for what we were doing. So yeah, we had some interior filming in here, and Spencer, huge shout out to Spencer for his work helping lay this out. And he did a great job with that.
Interior decorator extraordinaire.
/ Saracen, fearsome Saracen / interior decorators.
The full package.
Yeah, no kidding.
So Mark asks a question that's probably important. Sadly, I missed the latest live show. What's the status on the trailer at the moment? The status is we are finishing it up. The editing process is coming to a close. My guess is we will be announcing a new release date imminently, probably in the next few days. I can't say for sure. The goal is to get it out this last week of May, but we want to have at least a couple weeks out once we announce the new release date. So, we shall see, but it is coming soon. And Kyle and I got a chance to watch the trailer as it is now. It is just about done, and it looks amazing. So, and actually, we watched it with Mike and Adam before we started streaming as well. So, what did you guys think so far? Do you think it's coming along pretty well?
Better every time, man.
Yeah,
that
better
blew me away when you showed it to me. It's like all those pieces coming together. It's neat. I love seeing it.
Yeah, I think the blood is a good addition.
Oh my god, there's more blood.
It's crazy, but yeah, that post production, it adds more to the impact. Go figure.
Definitely, I think. looking for more pictures inside the tent. But anyway, all right, cool. So let's jump out of this and maybe get a couple more comments here. I'll go ahead and do a quick plug just for the project in general. What we're talking about is Knights of the Cross. This is a historical drama TV series we're working on for ChristianChannel.com. If you guys want to learn more about it, there's a link down below in the description, ChristianChannel.com/Knights of the Cross. Right there on your screen, you will see our promotional page, which will tell you all about the project, everything you need to know. This is a crowd-funded project, so it's happening because you guys are helping us make it happen. And yeah, if you want to help out, this is the place to do it. Please jump over there. There are a variety of ways to help, as you can see here. So you can be a Knight Hospitaller, you can be a Knight Templar. The possibilities are endless. So there you go.
And even just sharing with your friends, that helps too.
Yep, throw it out there, guys.
Yep.
It's the only way to make it work.
Spread
Keep
the
pushing.
link far and wide, and yeah.
Yeah, just take the web address and yeah, share that with your social media, all that stuff. Another good question here. This is from Simon M. Who is playing Saladin? Which one of you guys wants to play Saladin?
I was thinking you were going to do it, Joe.
Gotta get that beard going, though, bud.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I would be terrible for Saladin, I think. But,
I don't think I could do that role.
but I think there are definitely some people in our current stunt team who I think would be good for it. But we may end up having an actor from outside portray that role. I mean, there's a lot that could happen between now and when we're actually casting. So yeah, maybe if you have some ideas, tell them to send their resume.
Yeah.
We would love to check it out. I want to get the guy who played Saladin in Kingdom of Heaven as Saladin.
Yeah,
man,
he was
he was
good.
awesome.
He was really good.
One of the few things I liked about that movie.
Yeah.
You're always so harsh on that movie.
I know.
God.
It's tough. It's a
Kingdom
movie
of
now.
Heaven's like a huge gateway, I think, a more recent gateway into
Crusades
loving-
history. Yeah.
yeah.
Definitely.
So it's a movie. It is what it is, but I think at least it serves that purpose pretty well. I
just
mean,
like
I
it
would
'cause
never
it's
have gotten as into medieval stuff as I have if it weren't for like, I don't know, the Black Cauldron, Disney, or the terrible but amazing Kevin Costner Robin Hood. I love that movie.
I do have a soft spot for that movie. I can't deny it. But I'm a 90s child, so that came out in like what, 1990, 91?
I don't know. I
91,
remember
think.
the music video and the song and the everything, and Alan Rickman
Yeah,
was fantastic in it.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
When I watched that as an adult and I knew more about history and everything, because I loved it when I was a kid. I saw it in theaters. There's a scene where they're in Nottingham and Robin jumps out the castle and then he's on a horse and turns out he basically just teleports to Carcassonne because he's at a castle in England, and when he jumps off, he's at like one of the most famous castles in France.
Yeah.
Like, it's very recognizable to me.
Yeah, that's a pretty epic ability.
Movie magic.
Yep, but it looks cool.
I see. Oh,
So here's a good question from Dorothy. The Spanish Netflix Crusade series was canceled due to COVID-19. How is Knights of the Cross handling this? They had a $240 million budget.
I want one of those.
Wow,
Do they want to let us borrow it?
yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
if they're not going to be using it, we'll take it.
Yeah. Just yeah.
Well, they probably don't have as much vaccine access. I mean, I don't know much about that production, but we're starting now as there's a vaccine. They're
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
behind.
my
will say
second
this,
shot was last week.
Just to
Yep,
answer
I'm up.
to answer the question, we our goal is to make the show in any way that we can kind of be compliant with whatever the regional regulations are going to be. If things are shut down in Europe, then we won't film there. We suspect that there will at least be somewhere in America where we will be legally able to film, and that's and if that's like, if it's going to be New Mexico, it'll be New Mexico. We'll build like, a Jerusalem set out there. So, the budget we're raising, there's kind of a variety of ways we can use that. We can use that to go overseas and film in Spain or Portugal and, take advantage of that. We could use it to build sets here. So there's, our answer to that, Dorothy, is we are bound and determined to make it happen next year. But we are going to do it in a way that is, legal and consistent with the health standards of the area. So there we go on that. Cool. Well, we're kind of coming to. Oh no, we got plenty of time. I was just.
Yeah. You're trying to cut us off early this week.
I see how it is. Well, that almost makes up for all the time we went over.
Yeah, exactly. It probably evens out.
I will. One thing I was thinking of when we were talking about like these movies and historical inaccuracies. One thing you guys may have noticed is all these movies, like Arn the Knight Templar, there's a scene where they are planning out this battle and they've got a map, and the map is laying there on the table.
Mm-hmm.
There's little like figurines on it. They're moving them around like, we'll sell it here.
Oh yeah.
And one thing you guys may have heard is that this is actually not a thing in medieval.
No,
Right,
no. Of course
Don't tell
not.
me that. I want to live with that delusion. All right.
Like, okay,
What did they do?
they
sand tables more than anything.
well they didn't use maps. Like this was not like the way people thought in the Middle Ages. Like apparently this was more of a like Napoleonic era onward type thing. Like in the medieval world, maps weren't really used for practical purposes at all. Like a map was kind of a artistic thing.
Yeah.
So what did you do, and what do you always read about in medieval accounts of military activity? You read about local guides, people from the area who knew what they were doing, knew how to move in the terrain. This was essential if you were a medieval commander. You had to have people in your retinue right there with you who knew how to get around in the area, who could tell you about the region. Richard the Lionheart famously used the Knights Templar and Knights Hospitaller for this, and also some of the local Arab Christians, Turkoples, people like this. Bedouin. Richard had Bedouin who were probably Muslims in his employ. These were his spies. Ibn Shaddad talks about this. So these people all would have understood intimately all these areas he wanted to operate in. And how would he have planned this stuff out? By talking to them, by, dealing with them. And you kind of think about the way the mindset must have worked at the time. It's like you thought about things in terms of, okay, how long does it take to ride through this area? What kind of terrain is it? Are there mountains? I mean, this is how they thought of it, as opposed to the way we think of things. Like even if you like at your job, there's probably like a map that lays out the building, and you're kind of used to thinking of like looking down at it and moving through it that way. But that's just not the way medieval military commanders were planning things out. So I don't know. It's just kind of one of those interesting things that it's so ubiquitous in cinema to show medieval commanders.
Yeah,
like,
it's a super effective tool for conveying to the audience that's watching. Like we have a plan. This is what we're gonna do, and then tell your story from there.
Plus, who wouldn't want to throw a knife at a map?
Yes, you gotta.
We'll kill them fast. All of that said, right here. Dorothy is here with so many comments, but correct costumes, please. No long-haired Templars. The goal, I think, is the goal with this is to make it as historically accurate as humanly possible. So yeah, we're gonna use all the correct gear. We're gonna.
Dorothy, I promise that I won't have long hair for any Templar I play. Guarantee me on that.
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
Without a doubt. One of the things that I can tell you though, like being a vet and being someone who's been in the field, after a while, you gotta kind of let like the grooming standards wax. So being able to grow a beard or having to grow a beard, Kyle, will be entertaining for some of us. But for the rest of us, it's just part of the thing. I mean, when you're when you're not near running water, you're not near a clean place to bathe, you're not near some place where someone can like properly take care of your grooming standards. You do what you got to do. Your buddy takes a sharp knife and shaves the top of your head and hope he doesn't knock the top of your scalp off. But or you skip it.
Yeah, and speaking of that, an interesting thing from the Third Crusade were the laundresses, these laundry women.
Washer women.
Yeah, who are often mentioned in the sources. Richard the Lionheart made it a point to have a lot of these washerwomen with his army. And in fact, they were the only women who were allowed to travel with them out of Acre when they marched from Acre to Jaffa. And why was that? Because this is a crucial way to prevent lice and other problems that could cause health risks for an army. So we'll have to have laundry women when we do the...
Yeah.
Awesome.
Hygiene is incredibly important for a moving army.
You lose so many people to illness. So many people.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Keep them clean, got to keep them fed.
Jay, you I know we talked about this before, but do you remember what the count was when they first landed? Now I'm trying to remember my very brief understanding of this period of history. They were losing so many people right up until Richard brought his forces and landed at Acre.
Yeah.
Like hundreds a day, if I'm correct.
Well, I don't think it couldn't have been hundreds a day, like for very long, because that would have everybody would have been done. But there were definitely a couple like outbreaks of disease that affected both the Crusader camp and the Muslim camp. And yeah, I mean, this was often, one of the decisive factors in medieval warfare was illness. And during the whole course of the Crusade, major commanders were ill. There was a time when the Battle of Jaffa was going on, actually, Saladin's brother, who was his main general, was ill and was not involved in a lot of that. Richard was ill a couple of times. So, yeah, I think, we think about that. Like, there's this myth that medieval people were not sensitive to hygiene. They actually very much were. They had, obviously they didn't have a lot of the advantages we have of dealing with it. But, yeah, I mean, for a competent military commander was going to be thinking about things like, okay, well, I need plenty of washerwomen to keep clothing clean, to keep, linens clean so that disease isn't spreading. I know even when we were on set, like when we were filming the trailer, somebody, I can't remember who, made a comment like, well, everybody just had lice all the time in the Middle Ages. And I was like, no, that's why they had the washerwomen, because to prevent that, you didn't want to have lice. If everybody had lice, that was a sign that there was a problem. So,
I'm gonna carry disease.
Cool. So yeah, Dorothy's got a comment on that. Dorothy, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but she is a encyclopedia of knowledge.
She's got good knowledge, good comments.
Yeah, I'm down.
She says laundresses showed ankles and scrubbed laundry kneeling. So they were. So what are you saying there, Dorothy?
Man,
they were showing.
So when you guys mentioned the laundresses, my first thought went to German warfare in like the 15th, 16th century, because I did a lot of research on like the Wagenburg as a military tactic, because it was fascinating to me. And they had laundresses follow the camp exclusively, and they had a lot of different roles according to the artwork that went beyond just washing clothes. So I'll leave it there. I'll let you guys research the art on your own, but there's a lot of it. Like,
I had a friend of mine who also she's a PhD in history. She knows a ton of stuff, and Helena Schroeder, she was telling me that in these books where they always portray like knights having affairs with like upper class ladies, that's probably pretty inaccurate, because their virginity was so precious. It was probably more laundresses, is what she said. The military campaign. So
the artwork's gonna back her up. That's for sure.
You're in the field for long enough.
Not gonna find a lot of noble women, in camp out on the field, I don't think.
Yeah, 100 days into war, let me tell you. Yeah.
And they were very closely guarded. Like, that's an interesting thing about noble women, is how, the idea that their reputation as being a virgin when they were married was so crucial. That's one of the reasons you have the lady in waiting she attends like a queen or a duchess or something, and she's always there with her. They're probably sleeping in the same room, maybe even in the same beds. I mean, she's not going to be alone. I mean, this is part of the social hierarchy in the Middle Ages, kind of how these standards were enforced.
And if they're a wealthy noblewoman, they're going to have a team. They're going to have guards. They're going to have soldiers.
Oh,
yeah. They're not just like, I'm just on vacation. I'll just stroll in. I'll drive my car there, drive it out. No, like you have to have a team of guards. And if you're wealthy enough, you will.
Yeah. Dorothy actually says here, Baldwin IV took sulfur water baths, lots of spa resorts in Israel. So, we do read in some of the source material about the baths and, the way this was done. And I mean, public bathing was very much a thing still in the Middle Ages, in the West too. I mean, there were baths that continued right up from the Roman period in parts of France and Germany. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's another misconception, and I think Resident Caroline pointed it out. The whole thing with like they didn't bathe or whatever, that didn't happen until much later. I think, and they can probably correct me, but it's like the Puritan movement of like the 1800s when people stopped taking baths all the time.
Yeah, bathing was definitely commonplace in the Middle Ages. It's a myth that people were not bathing regularly. I mean, it was different depending on where you were. Like in Scandinavia, it might have been a far simpler thing than in Italy. So, and it depends on the period too. I mean, I can't remember. This was during the early Middle Ages. I don't remember if it's Charlemagne or the earlier Franks, where there was this tradition of holding council at this river, which was also a bathing site. And so it's like they would hold council and bathe at the same time. So stuff like that, is common to find. Bathing attached to other rituals too.
Part of the knighthood ceremony, at least one of them that I read about, the knight would wear white and basically be like almost baptized.
Yes.
Yeah, Sharni and Lowell both have bathing as part of the vigil to knighthood.
Yeah.
All right. So now we have come close to the end of our stream today, guys, but it has been a lot of fun.
Always is.
Yeah, man.
Let's give a final nod to project itself. We're talking about Knights of the Cross, historical drama show about the Crusades for ChristianChannel.com. We are in the midst of creating it right now. Go to ChristianChannel.com/Knights of the Cross. The link is down in the description below. Check out what we're doing. Support the project. You guys are going to help us make it happen. So,
Yep.
let me just jump one last time to our crowdfunding page.
Link in the description, probably.
Yep, it is there, and this is what it looks like. Right. Cool. Okay, guys. So, any last comments from anybody? Mike, Adam, or Kyle?
No, maybe next time we can talk about other armor that we all own. I brought my gauntlets in.
My gauntlets?
Well, let's check those out real quick before we.
I'm trying to give you the teaser to next week. Like, no. We're going to talk gauntlets. Canceling the goodbye.
Just real quick, what are those?
So these are 14th century hourglass gauntlets. I had them blackened because I have a mild obsession with the Black Prince. Black and brass. I use these for armored combat and spear fighting mostly.
Nice. Very cool. I agree with you on the Black Prince. He is really intriguing. We should talk more about him maybe next time.
Oh man, I would love to.
Dude.
Let's do it. Cool. All right. And Polaris, I saw that you asked what the schedule was. We're not going to go or the schedule for creating the show. I don't want to go into it again, but we did talk about it earlier. So if you want to back up, we can talk about that. We are in a process, definitely. So check that out. And with that, I will say thanks to the team. I appreciate all of you guys being here as always. It's great fun.
Absolutely. And thanks
Thanks
for
for having us, man.
thanks for having us
Appreciate
back.
Right. Always.
Bye.
All right. And we'll talk to you guys.
Bye, guys.
See ya.